We are live. Let's turn this blur. We're in action. Antonio's note taker. Nice. There we go. 12 o'clock. Let's see where everybody's at. Send this link around. What's up, everybody? See who we got out here on Facebook. We got in here. Ivytar. Hello, my friend.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm Cody's partner. Sent me your Zoom link. Thought
Nice
I'd
to meet
join.
you. You go by Avi here? How you say that?
Yep, Avi.
Avi. Here we go. Nice to meet you, my friend. I'm sending this link around to everybody currently, so getting some more folks to jump in here.
Awesome. Let's go.
Let's see what we got with everybody. We got Cam. What's up, Cam?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, brother. How are you?
Pretty good. Getting the week started.
Man, are we ever getting a week started? I've been in fast forward all day long, man. It is
Awesome.
quite a start to the week. Lots of things moving,
There you
but
go. I'm
exciting
doing
time.
some lead generations actually this afternoon
That's
on
what you're
on
doing?
my end.
What you
Yeah,
got
I'm
planned?
playing around with PropStream.
Nice.
Yeah.
Some lists. What you thinking? What kind of lists are you looking to pull?
I'm looking at so I've been building in Florida and North Carolina. We're looking at some field listings, low equity, some pre-foreclosures on low equity, some vacant stuff. So I'm open to anything you got to what's the word? Sorry. It's been a busy morning.
No, I feel like my
Any
brain's in the
suggestions
same
for
spot.
list building?
Yeah, so well, I mean, I guess it depends on what type of deal you're looking to produce. I mean, you're looking for fix and flip properties, or you're just looking to get stuff to wholesale. What's your focus first off?
I'm focusing more on wholesale slash creative finance. So if there's anything I think that I can actually hold on to, maybe get a lease to own option, someone in there.
Nice. Yeah, so well, those are two different strategies, different directions, right? So the creative deals are generally for most people going to come via agent outreach.
Mhm.
So I know you mentioned expired listings, that there's a lot of potential there, right? But for most people, they're going to do like massive level like LOI blast to agents, and agents are going to basically do that heavy lifting of getting their clients to agree, and then it's a little bit easier for them to position that because they already have that relationship. Um, If you're going to target expired listings, absolutely. I think that's out of all direct to seller routes that you're going to go, that's going to be the one that's going to get you the most creative opportunities because they know, hey, I just listed it on the market. I wasn't able to get what I want. And you can come in and basically be where they want to be as far as price, but break it into the proper terms so that you're able to get it better suited on our side. So, I mean, I think you're in the right spot on that side if you're looking for creative deals. Wholesale, like cash wholesale deals are, there's a million different ways you can get to them. The pain is obviously going to be the biggest thing. So when you're pulling a list like that from PropStream or any platform like that, um, it's hard to know their motivation. They might fit a certain, box, but that doesn't mean that they have motivation. So it's kind of hard to define that. But I mean, you could look at things like, what do they call it? A zombie list, where it's like vacant and out of state owners. So there's like, they're just bleeding money into this and they're not getting anything brought in. So that's one place that we have had some success specifically on pulling lists or direct to seller.
Sure, sure.
There you go.
I got a question for you. So if there's a property that I want to wholesale. I mean, are you talking to them the first thing and then giving them a price right away? Or are you calling them back to research it? I mean, are you trying to see the property first?
This is actually an interesting point that I was having a conversation with Chelsea on as well. I think she just was on here. She's going to jump back on. It depends on the type of lead. So when we're running warm inbound leads, right, we're going to want to basically get an offer, get a contract in their hands and signed as quickly as possible, right? But when you're doing cold outreach, it's going to require that you touch them more times. So therefore, probably not going to make an offer on the first time unless you get on with them and you hear they have that motivation level. You can kind of learn to play it by ear and push it a little bit further. On most of the cold outreach stuff that we've done, I would say it's at least a 2-touch process. I mean, we generally have somebody, excuse me, generally have somebody raise their hand and say, hey, yeah, I'm interested. And then we have a secondary conversation where we're actually doing a little bit more into the negotiation side of things. I think that's the better route to go.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get some more folks in here real quick. What's up, Chelsea?
Hey, sorry, I was getting an incoming call.
Oh, good.
Nothing much. None. Did you ask a question or you just wanted me to touch on the leads?
Well, no, I was getting ready to ask you. So, I mean, one of the reasons
Yeah,
why
go
I
ahead.
jump on here is because we are getting some of this inbound lead flow that is giving us opportunities to do more breakdowns of the deals that we are pushing through. So, some of the leads that you've spoken to over the past couple of days, I know you're kind of working on making the second touch, as we were just talking about with Cam. So, tell me about some of them. Let's break down some of the deals, the potential deals that you have flowing through in right now.
So, all right. So when I spoke to you Saturday, I just immediately started hitting the leads that were coming in, and it was like a totally different ball game. I have I've tested a lot of different leads, like a lot of different lead sources through, with you. And I remember when I first got started in this, I would call you in between literally like every single lead because I just wanted to hope I had a deal so bad, you know what I mean? And I was calling you in between everyone. And then also because I was scared to let the people go. I'm like, oh, I'm building relationships with all these people. And I was building relationships with all these people instead of qualifying them, figuring out if they're qualified first or disqualified, whatever, and then determining whether or not I need to take my time or hurry up and get off the phone with these people. You know what I mean? So I feel like I went into it with a different mindset too, right? But just the leads were a totally different ball game. It was like, I was first of all getting answers from everyone. If I didn't get an answer on the call, then I shoot them a text. Hey, this is Chelsea with National Homes, or I think it says Nationwide, but this is Chelsea with such and such. Just following up in regards to the property on, whatever. Did you have a quick moment to chat? And then they text me back, yeah, or, call me this time after then. And so it really, I mean, I didn't feel like I had any time wasted, because I remember before I used to call you and be like, yo, bro, like I know I'm doing something. I feel like I'm sitting like I know I called 100 numbers, but I just don't feel like I'm doing anything. Like because I don't feel like I'm accomplishing much. I would
Right.
call, I might call a lot of people, whatever. So I didn't feel like that at all. Like, I have just been trying to raise like, I have a busy life, right? So I have a lot going on and I've been trying like every second I get to make sure, all right, I'm racing to the CRM, racing to the computer because you can tell that the leads are a different quality of lead, a different ball game. The people that I have spoken to, right? I'm not going to say everyone. Like the first guy that I spoke to, I don't think his pain was as much, right, as the second woman that I spoke to. I don't think he had as much pain, but he knew what he wanted, right? He was motivated in a sense where he knew what he wanted and what he was looking to accomplish. So like that's
So
I
wait,
feel like
let's break it down real quick. Tell us about this first guy that you talked to. He knew what he wanted. What do you mean
yeah,
by that?
so he's a lead in New Jersey. And this is not his primary property. It's an investment property for him. He bought the property 17 years ago for $1 million. Okay. Like maybe a little more or less, right around 1 million. And he had it for 17 years and he's been renting it. I want to say to the same tenant. Want this? I want to say to the same tenants the whole time that he's had it because he's like was telling me that he is done all these necessary renovations to the property. The only thing that he hasn't done is the bathroom because he doesn't want to mess with his tenants. Right? He was like, they're great people. The tenants are paying him right now about $5,500 a month, and it's on a month to month basis, right? Because the lease was up in sometime earlier this year, maybe like March or April, and the guy was getting a bunch of calls from brokers, and he was like, I wasn't sure if I wanted to, I knew I didn't want to get into another lease because I wasn't sure what we were planning to do. My wife and myself are both retired. Our kids are grown and we're looking to sell and move to Florida. I didn't want to create any more attachments. So I didn't think it would be good to sign another lease with them, but they do still pay month to month 5,500. So I'm like, oh, that's dynamite. So now I go in Zillow and I'm looking at Zillow and at first I could see like I like to kind of average out the different platforms that I'm using. So like if I'm on the call with someone and I have my comping tools out, I make sure like I'm, looking across multiple different platforms just because I want to be as close to that ballpark number as I can get. I'm sure that like if G does the underwriting, we might all be a little bit different, but I want to get as close and accurate as I can get. So I'm checking multiple different places. And the first place I see, I mean, this guy's property is valuing 1.45 or 1.5. So the value in this area has gone up and this property has gained at least $400,000 worth of value over the 17 years that he's had the home.
They
Right.
probably should have
So
done a lot more than that, it seems like.
yeah, probably. He said to me, he's like, look, I bought it for $1 million and I put 100,000 into it. He said, I'm not like, I could tell that he didn't want to lay all his cards on the table, right? Like he didn't want to flat out tell me like, I'm not trying to, hit a grand slam, but like he did in between so many, like I was able to read between the lines. He was telling me like, I don't have to get this whole 1.45. I just need to get what I put into it. You know what I mean? I paid $1 million, I put in 100,000. And like, if I could do that, like I could be okay. And I also think because he has been making this money in this stream of income in this way for so long that I don't really think it would affect him to take a creative deal. And you kind of helped me.
Let me jump
Yeah,
in here. So, let's talk about this one. So I agree with what you're saying, and I just want to talk a little bit before you keep running further in different directions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So 1.45, let's say, is the ARV that you're seeing, quick pulling, right? So what I want you to get to, and I want others to get to, is being able to do this in pretty much real time. Like you've noticed, as we've talked about this a lot over the weeks, this isn't a 30-minute long process in this early stage. We're looking at this quickly, right? So 1.45, check one. 5,500 rent every month, check two. So he's making recurring revenue on this as it is. He's used to his money sitting over there tied up, and bringing money in every month because of it. He's used to that dynamic. But what's the reason why he's wanting to sell it versus continuing to rent it?
Because so he was telling me pretty much, he was explaining everything to me that like they didn't want to leave any attachments in Jersey. He didn't sound like he wanted to be a long term, like a long distance landlord. I don't. I guess I probably should have keyed in on that a little bit more. If the property is bringing in income in this way, like you explained to me, right? Like if the property is cash flowing, as you're explaining to me, why would you want to sell it, right? I didn't think about that when I was on the phone with him. I
Right.
should probably definitely ask him that question.
Questions, right? These are the questions that we want to use. We want to direct where he's going. So, Mr. Homeowner, you're already making money on this property as is right now. What is it that because again, Chelsea, your goal is to get to a true motivation. So if you're already making money on this and you move down there, you can still make money on this. You might pay somebody a small property management, but like again, and this is kind of the reverse negotiation that you've heard us as a community talk about. I'm going to obviously pivot away from some other people, but we've been talking about this reverse negotiation strategy where we're going to kind of push them away from our numbers so that they want to come back. Right. So if I hear this and I hear, okay, I'm already making money on this, I can pay a small amount to a property management company. Mr. Homeowner, why are you not doing that? And then in that, his response is going to give you some more clarity to his motivation. Maybe he says, oh, well, I need to get XYZ to go buy my next place, or I want to not have to do whatever it is. Right. But until he gives you that answer, you haven't dug deep enough to his motivation.
Can't assume either.
Exactly. So we got to use the question mark. So I'm hearing this.
Yeah, that's another good.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say I'm hearing this. You say 1.45. He's making money in. I'm curious. First off, why does he want to move it? But you're right in saying this does lean itself for a very good potential creative finance deal, right? He is making cash flow on it monthly, and he isn't necessarily looking for a huge cash chunk from what you told us right now, but he's kind of attached to a certain number. So 1.45, he said he's put in 1.1. I'm hearing somewhere about 1.2, 1.25. And then we say, hey, you let me come in with 5% down generally is what 5% or less down is what we'd want to get into a creative deal for, especially if we're going to turn around wholesale it. We want to have that space to do that, right? So 5% of that is what, like 75,000 ish, roughly, 75, 80,000, somewhere in there. That would be kind of like cash and seller in his hand. So the thing is, what's his motivation level? Does he need more money than that? Or is he just looking to basically get a little cash out? And now here's some scripting you can use is, Mr. Homeowner, you can play the bank. The benefit is, I could go try to get a bank mortgage, or you can play the bank, right? And you can make that recurring money off of financing it backwards, right? Now, for someone who's already making that cash flow, it does seem to align if the numbers make sense. The question is, what's his motivation? Because his motivation will determine, does it make more sense to seller finance and just, play the bank, or does it make more sense to just keep it as a rental as he's currently doing? Or just totally look to sell it. And if he was going to wholesale it, I mean, he would not at all like the numbers that a cash wholesale offer would look at. So that's definitely not what you would want to hit this guy with. You're on mute, Chelsea.
I know. I was trying to unmute. Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. I think he would definitely be probably insulted by it, but I do think that like he has the motivation. I mean, I was asking him, is the property, have you ever listed the property on the market? The property's never been on the market.
You cut out there, Chelsea.
What's he still owe on the property?
I don't think he owes anything.
He's free and clear.
I think so, right, Chelsea?
No, wait.
Because that makes a big difference on his 5,500.
I think he's free and clear. I was trying to remember whether or not he told me that. So one of the leads I spoke to told me that their property's been on and off the market a lot, and I maybe it was the lady Patricia. I don't think that was him, but this guy is like, he's a realtor, first of all. So he knows a little bit about a little bit, like a lot of stuff, he knows what, like I said, he knows what he wants. When I said to him, has the property ever been on the market? He was like, no, because I'm a realtor and I wanted to see, you know, what I can get first, right? I wanted to see like because I don't feel like he said getting into doing like I've already put X, Y, and Z renovations and amount of dollars into it. He said, you know, I'm happy right now. Me and my wife retired. She wants to go to Florida. Like I would be happy to sell it right now as it is and just go. Like I really don't feel like he didn't feel like dealing with the whole process of listing and this and that. And he was like, I really just want to see what I can get here, you know?
Do you have the
Yeah.
address on it?
Huh?
Do you have the
Yeah.
address on it?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'll grab it for you right now.
So yeah, it's definitely going to be important to determine if it's free and clear or.
Another one I wanted to talk. I didn't even. Sorry, Gary. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm saying that definitely is going to matter a lot. I was under the impression, I think, because of our conversation yesterday that he was, but if he's not, then that restructures things. Because then we got to determine what's he paying in his current mortgage and how does that weigh into that $5,500.
Right. That's why I was
I think
asking
this
if
is
it was
the
free
guy.
and clear.
Go ahead,
Say again?
Chaz.
No. I was just saying that's why I was asking if he was free and clear because if that 5,500 turns into 1,000,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Then that's not really that much that he's putting in his pocket every month.
Right. Of course. Yeah, of course. So this was the first guy. So Garrett, when the
Yeah.
leads were coming in, he was like, yo, I need somebody to get on these leads. Like, what are you doing? So I was like, all right, no problem. I got you right now. And I just started calling and like, this was the first conversation I had. So I kind of just jumped into it. I didn't have my questions ready. And I did a lot of restructuring with my call structure too. After I got off with these leads, because I noticed the difference in the quality of these leads. And I'm just like not here to play games, bro. Like I need to make money like now. And so I'm just trying to get to it. So like I called the guy, I was just trying to not waste time. But after I got off with him, I called Garrett and like he was like on me too about it. Did you ask this? Did you ask that?
Let's
But like
stay
you
focused,
also
Phil.
helped me
Stay
to
focused.
understand too, Garrett.
Give me
Like
the lead details.
that
Look, I
free
want you
and
to stay
clear.
focused.
Yeah, like that free and clear. That's a way different way to say it. That like opens the doors for me because I used to hide from that question because of the reaction I would get from it. And like when I'm saying free and clear, I don't get that same type of response now. It's a totally different ball game.
Mhm. So give us the details on this property real quick. Do you have it in front of you now?
Which
The one we're talking about right now.
hold on, I'm opening it.
It's in the CRM somewhere. Okay, let me see.
His name is Sean Govinci. He's right
Yeah.
in the contacted. He's right in the contacted.
Here, Chaz, I have this one handy somewhere. Actually, give me a second.
Driving. I'm trying to get it too, but
I
got
got
both
it.
my
I got
kids
the
in the
text.
car. I'm trying not to.
I'm just gonna text it to you, Chaz, so we ain't gotta throw it out here like that.
Did you find it, guy?
Did he I guess we could try to pull up a call recording, but do you
He's in
have
Highland. He's in
right. I
Florida.
don't want you to spit the whole
I mean,
address out.
in New Jersey.
Yeah, I don't want you to spit the whole address out. I
No,
already
I
get.
know that. Go ahead.
So my question is simple. I want you to stay focused with me so I can try to get through
That's
this with
fine.
you.
Go ahead.
So did he give you details? Do you have it written down whether he has a mortgage or not? And it's okay if not. We're gonna build off this. I'm just.
Do you have the lead open? Well, do you have the lead open? Because I took very thorough notes when I was on the phone with this guy. I made sure I did, and I put them all in the CRM. So if he told
Okay.
me,
Well,
I would have wrote it there. Sorry,
so
Gary,
again, I'm not trying to get on your ass. I'm trying to teach here, so I need information from you. So the point is, in order for us to talk about this lead, we need to get back on the phone and we need to determine, is there a mortgage and what does it look like? And the way that we're going to ask that to get to the point that Chelsea was trying to make, we're not going to say, hey, do you have a mortgage? How much do you owe on it? Because people are like, why the fuck you worry about my mortgage? Don't worry about that. Right?
Yeah.
Instead, it's going to be framed very simply and casually. Like, so is the property free and clear? And they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, yes or no, right? Like it's going to be pretty easy for them to spit that answer back because it's casual, right? But you don't need to hear that. You just need to be confident in asking it and keep it moving. So there's the first one. There's a couple more leads. So I'm going to try to keep you short because I want to talk about these. So the next lead that you felt like had a little bit more motivation. What, first off, give me her name if you have it.
So this lady, pull up my notes to talk about these people because I notated so thoroughly. But I definitely got, because this was that was just the first call, like, and I remembered, oh, I didn't get his mortgage info. So I, on the next call, made sure I got all that shit. And I did get all this lady's info. She does have a mortgage. So, all right, let me give you guys a quick rundown. This lady, she thought her son was coming home from Hawaii. He is in Hawaii, they're in Texas. Ended up, long story short, that his job is not allowing him to come. They have a property about a mile away, and they went out and bought a brand new home in this brand new development of homes that was being built, right? Because they were going to sell their home. Their son was going to come back from Hawaii, and they were all going to live happily ever after in this property in Texas. Okay. The son's job did not allow it. And now they've been stuck with this property for the past 2 years. Okay. So they tried to immediately, after the son was like, Mom, Dad, like, I can't, my job ain't allowing it. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get back. He was like, just sell the home. They tried to relist the property on the market. Okay. And it was the builder was still in the process of selling his other homes. So because of that, they were like, first of all, he was selling, they just took out a brand new mortgage for like 370. The builder was selling the properties for like 330, 340. And then he was sliding the realtor, look, I'll give you an extra 5-10 grand on the back end if you only show my properties. She's like, so we were getting just hit left and right. We went through 2 different realtors. She was like, she said both of those contracts with those realtors expired. She said we had someone, they spoke to an investor. She said, and they at first told me they came and walked through the house yesterday and made me think that like they were extending her an offer. But then as I listened to her a little bit longer, this lady was like just spilling all the beans, right? And like she was just going into all the details, and I was just letting her spill. And I was like, I think what it sounds like is that you probably had spoke with an investor who, had someone come out and see the property. And the lady told her, she was like, oh, the property's nice, but the picture's doing no justice. I'm going to tell them to send you an offer right now. But they never got back to her. I said, well, she's upside down on it. When I look on Zillow, it tells me that the property's valued at 340, right? So they do have a mortgage that's like the starting mortgage was like 365. They still owe like 362. Okay. And he was like, I even tried to do a 4.99 assumable note, and I didn't have any movement on it. She was like, now it's like it's getting long. She's like, but I'm starting to get some what's the word I'm looking for? I'm starting to get some not motivation. I'm starting to get some, she's starting to feel better about this whole process because she just drove through the development and saw that the last of the properties from the builder, everyone is finally just sold. So she's like, I think now I may
You're starting to break up a little bit there. I'm losing
be
you.
able to get some movement, right? So I was like explaining her situation with this lady for a very long time, and I was explaining this like situation to her and explaining to her the situation that she's in. And I'm like, you can see, like, you've been through the ringer the past 2 years, and you can see that the process has not been easy for you, and that's probably the reason why the other investor did not get back to you, because you have to understand, right? For them to come in a pool of investors, right? There has to be room for us to come in and either do some renovations to spike up that market value and get our money back, or like it has to make sense for us. And when I'm sure, you sound like a genuine person. When I'm sure, spoke to that girl, you told her everything. She took it back to the investors, and they probably thought that's not going to work for us. I said, but see, we want to be able to help you out here.
Yeah.
Even
Well, let me jump in here again. The reason why, because
Sure.
you and I want to kind of touch on certain points as you move, so I'm gonna keep cutting you off. But so what I'm hearing here, first off, and to give people more details, and correct me if I'm wrong on some of these, Chelsea, but it was a 2022 build. It was just a couple of years old, brand new.
Brand new.
Right. So they were the first people living in it, which means they have zero equity in the property. So
none.
Here's a teaching point, right? So 5 minutes ago, we talked about free and clear, which means they got 100% equity. They've paid off their mortgage. They're free of that. That's where the term free and clear comes from. And then you have this seller who has little to no, basically zero equity in the property. But the reason why that sucks for them is because they bought it here, but right now the market's saying it's worth here. They bought it at 340, right? 370,
Yeah.
360
So
something.
they got the mortgage. She said starting mortgage was 360, right around 365.
Okay, so let's break this down. So she got this at 365 in 2023 or 2022, I'm sorry. And then current market value tells us it's at about 310 to 320,000, which means she's negative $40,000 in equity. What she paid for this house is more than what the market is saying it's worth. So now we begin
Right.
to see this pain point, right? So she's trapped with this mortgage, but I bet this mortgage is a very low rate because of the time in which she got it. Do you know what that is?
I think it's 4.99. That's what she said. She was trying to assume, she was trying to have someone just assume the mortgage at 4.99.
Well, so
She said,
again,
and this is when the
the
rates
key
were.
takeaway I want you to take from this is that you have to get that answer. You have to know
Well, that's
what's
why
the
I thought
mortgage
that
amount and
meant.
what's the interest rate, because that's going to determine what we can do creatively, right? So
Why
4.99
I don't
is
want to
not
sound stupid.
bad, but at 2022, a lot of people were getting like 1.9, 2, right? So like there was much
Yeah.
rates in that general window. So I would confirm this number and make sure.
Really? No,
Let's go with it.
that's 2022 was like 5% interest rates. I feel like that's
I guess that
right.
might have been fine.
That would be
So
right.
let's just get confirmation. Maybe that might be, I guess, towards the tail end of that. So but the reason why I point that out is because it's not certain. I need you
Yeah.
to be certain on that. You need to know this answer. You guys need to be asking this. If we're going to push creative, you've got to have the skin to talk to people about this. Otherwise, you're never going to get a creative deal. But let's rock with 4.99. So 365. I'm gonna assume you don't know this answer, but we would need to know what her monthly payment is as well.
Well, I think it's 2,200.
Okay.
That's what she told me when we were. I don't think it's exact, but we were talking about how she's paying 2 mortgages a month and bleeding into paying 2 mortgages. And she was like, "I'm paying $2,200 a month for this property, and like I just really can't do it for much longer."
Okay. The $2,200 a month. Now, the first thing to note is this is only going to really make sense for them as a creative deal. They're going to take a
Yeah.
fat loss if they have to cash wholesale this. If they try to list on the market, they're going to have to bring 40, 50K plus to probably more than that because they're going to factor in closing costs and everything. They're going to have to bring 100K. That ain't going to happen for them either. So that's not really an option to sell it on the market. It's not really an option to cash wholesale. This is a perfect creative finance deal. So she has no equity, which means they're not going to get anything really in hand to leave. We're going to take this pain point away, but it's going to be $0 in their pocket because they don't have any equity in it to cash out. They don't
And they
have
know that.
right. So that's good. That's good that they know that. So now it becomes what can we I really if it's $0 down to them and what would we be able to turn around and probably wrap? Let me think
Like
here.
she knows, but I don't know if this is a good point to make because like we were touching on this and like I was explaining to her and I didn't say the words creative, but like I was explaining to her like, we're able to explore other options. We might be able to help you out here. I'm going to connect with my partners and I'll get back in touch with you. And that's when she told me, she was like, my husband's about to be 90 years old. She was like, we really don't want to be landlords. She was like, that's why right now we're looking into these cash offers. We know we're going to have to take a loss. She was like, and we know that we're going to probably have to take a pretty big loss. We just are trying to figure out how much of a loss we're going to have to take.
Well,
and like that's the route
doesn't
she took.
necessarily
I
have
tried
to.
explore. I explore that,
So, if we just came in and took it over subject to what's currently there, right? Like no cash in hand, hey, we'll take this over. The question is, you said it's in Texas, which makes it more difficult with some of the creative stuff because there's more legalities to there. So I think a lot of wrap buyers avoid Texas for this reason, which is another hurdle for this person. But point being, and this is really as far as I wanted to go with this for now, is the fact that this is a great creative deal. In talking this out, you can see how we determine what's a good fit. The cash offer, if they want to take a cash offer, in comparison to what market is at, if we say it's worth 320. And then we're gonna want to get that at like what 107, 160, 170, 180. There's no way they want to do this. There's no way. They're not gonna, they're gonna take a
Yeah.
ridiculous off. There's no way that makes sense for them. Nobody's gonna feel good about that transaction. That's a loss for them.
No, that's like made me sick to my stomach.
So I think though, this is where creative finance allows you to come in and be the superhero for this woman, right? Because look,
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
want
have
to
to hear
help
that.
you. You don't really have to take a huge loss, but there's going to be something there, right? And so what she's going to have to, what we're going to have to determine is, are we going to be able to exit this in a way where it's going to actually be able to pay off the mortgage, or are we going to be able to wrap it in a way in which we can tag some equity on there? But again, I don't know that how easy that is with it being in Texas. So we'll look a little bit deeper at this lead off of live stream. But thank you for bringing that stuff to the table, so that we have some deals to break down. Some people try to play me this week like I don't know what we're talking about. So I'll make sure I let the world know that we are pretty damn good at what we're doing here outside of just lead generation. I might not get on and close a bunch of deals myself because I shit y'all not, it's 12:35 p.m. Eastern time. I took my first phone call at 6:08 a.m. And with the exception of a 35-minute workout in the middle of there, I have been on the phone nonstop. Like I don't have too much time for these seller calls, but we can absolutely break these deals down and help you guys structure what this needs to look like. So I see some other folks out here. Cam, obviously we started talking a little bit. Are you working on any active deals right now?
Hey man, sorry. Not right now. I have a few callbacks that I'm calling throughout the week. Really, some of them are great possibilities for creative. They're just not open to it. So my thing would be, at what point do you go from a creative to a potential wholesale? I think I got to find that bridge.
The
So
motivation.
that's what I was, sorry, Garrett, I just wanted to say, I just, with that last lead we were just talking about, and he just touched on too, like, I feel like maybe that's a great point. She might not want to take $150,000 loss, but I feel like that number in those people's face is probably most of the time what they
I can't. You're breaking up half of your sentence, Chelsea.
need to then be open to creative. That's all I was gonna say.
I didn't catch that sentence because you broke up there.
Oh, sorry. I was
Every time you start talking.
just saying, I think people need to see
All right, I can't hear you. We're gonna have to get one up. But I think you're kind of asking the
that
same
low
question.
number.
I can't hear you.
Forget it.
I can't hear you.
I
So,
read it in the chat.
yeah, let's do it.
It's
But
all
I think
good. It's all
kind of
good.
the same question as Cam here. So let me make sure. So Cam, your question was basically, when do you decide this isn't going to work for them as creative? I hit them with a cash wholesale. Was that your question?
Yep.
Okay.
So I was
All right, Chelsea, I got to mute you because it's kind of annoying me. I'm trying to talk and you keep coming
really
in. and out.
back.
All right. When you have signal or you want to put it in the chat, but that's cool. But you're not getting through. I can't hear you. So let me answer. Girl, if you don't keep that thing on mute, I swear I'm gonna kick you about this thing. I'm trying to talk here. All right. So Cam, to answer your question, when do we pivot? Right. So again, the real defining factor on my side is going to be motivation, right? If they're like facing this big scary problem, the value is going to keep dropping. So the cash wholesale is going to be a huge thing, right? Timeline being another thing, right? So if they're like, oh, I got to get rid of this fast, I need this money this quick, blah, blah, blah. Those two factors, those two qualifiers are going to determine, are they going to be more of a cash wholesale deal or are they going to be a creative offer? What you have to determine is what's a better play for you, right? And how are you going to approach it? Because a lot of what you hear us teach on this side is to kind of almost lean the other direction than where you want them to go, right? We talk about the reverse negotiation stuff, right? So if I know I want to get this at a cash wholesale number, I'm going to talk to them in a way that talks about getting them their number, right? But how much it's going to take for them to get there. So it's like, all right, I definitely see where you have a home value at 300,000. I can see that here. Let me ask you a few more questions. And you're going to ask about the condition of the property. And they're going to say, oh, well, one of the questions that we give people to use is, what renovations or upgrades have you made to the property within the last 5 years to make it 2024 market standards? Because it's not, they haven't more than likely. So they need to know, like, dang, this is going to need to be done, right? And so you're talking them down and they're realizing, all right, cool. So it's worth 300,000, but just based off what I'm seeing right here, it's only going to cost you about 30 or 40,000 roughly to get that to market price so that you can go and do that. If you want, I can help you bring in the crews to get that done. We can bring in our capital, whatever you need to do to help get you to this number. And then you're going to wait, right? Because they're like $30,000-$40,000 to get to this number. I don't want to do that. Like, I just want to get this thing going. I got to do this. So what you're starting to do is build the story that's happening in their mind, right? So like, all right, it's not worth as much as I thought, but I'm not going to say $150,000. I'm not going to say, all right, the best I can do is 162. That's a slap in the face. You want them to go all the way around and say, well, what's this cash number here? I can't do any of those. What's this solution you have for me? We want them to ask for that. We want them to really be pushing, right? So that's what I would say is, like, determine which direction you feel like this best fits. And the more information you get from them, the better. Now, let's break it down a little bit. You said they seem like good creative deals. So share me a little bit of details without any address or anything like that. But let's just talk kind of raw info and see how we can help see what it might look like.
I'm out walking right now. I don't have anything in front of me, but I
Okay.
can gather some stuff for the next call.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. We can break it down whenever. This is just for all of you guys watching or here. Bring these things here. Let's break it down. Let's talk about how we can take lead opportunity to deal, right? And if you need our resources to help do that, the better. Some of you guys here, I know Curry is one of the students that is still rocking with us. We have Cam that actually I'm going to get you one of these spots. Several more people that have applied. We've got like 20, 25 people-ish total to pick over the next couple of weeks. So lots of things coming, right? And that kind of leads into the next thing I want to talk about. But let's see what Chelsea has here now. She got it typed out. I was saying that for some people, seeing the cash offer is what's going to make them open their mind to creative. If we have someone that's difficult, wouldn't it be beneficial to show them that they don't have many other options? Yes, Chelsea, you do want to show them that, but you don't want to do it by saying you don't have many other options. What you want to do is walk them through what all their options are and let them tell you that's not an option for them. All right, so it looks like, all right, so the lead that you were talking about, Chelsea, let's say, okay, Mrs. Homeowner, it seems like, you're only going to need to bring about 50,000 or so to closing in order to get it sold on the market. How you plan on doing that? Or like, does that sound like the route you want to go? And they're going to say, oh, heck no. Okay, no problem. Well, I mean, we might be able to do something where we possibly help you come in and renovate it. Now, actually, this doesn't apply to this last lead because it's already renovated, but let's just play out the scenario. Maybe they got to renovate the property and this is how the play is done. It's like, okay, maybe I can bring my money or my crews in and we can help you renovate it and we can agree at a number now and we'll sell it. We'll put in the work and the time and the money to get it to that market value. Does that sound like something? Or like you kind of just keep walking down your different options? Part of this, before you can really do this efficiently, is you need to know what all of your options are, right? And so cash wholesale offer is easy. We know how to run that exit strategy. It's very simple. Get it locked up low enough. We're going to turn around. We're going to hand it off to somebody else. If you really want to get good at getting properties locked up, you have to know more about being the investor. What does it look like on the other side? If I were to get this deal locked up creatively, what would it be? Or if I was going to run a novation where I'm going to, like I said, bring the money and crews and stuff to renovate the property, we're going to have to agree to a lower number, knowing we have a spread that comes down the road when we sell it at market price, right? So that space is where we make money. But if you don't know how to run the novation exit strategy, if you don't understand how to structure that deal, you'll never be able to pull that out of your holster. So this is why it's super important to study the disposition side and the different exit strategies that you have to deal with a property, and is going to be a huge part of actually the whole third month of the academy is all about the disposition side, right? So I'll use this as a pivot point to talk about this Dealmakers Academy and how we're restructuring some things. A lot of you got to see the whole tirade that has happened on social media with coming to attack your boy for whatever reason. I'm the bad guy to a lot of people. That's all good. It's not the first time we've been on social media for 15 years. It's part of the game. It won't be the last time that somebody comes for your boy. It's just part of the game. All of that to say, the whole purpose of this Dealmakers Academy is that we wanted to pick people that were willing to do the work first so that we could invest money in them. We're going to spend the money on marketing and lead gen. We've got the SMS system everybody hears me talk about. we run the paid ads, all of that good stuff, right? Cold calling, we've got the agents out in Egypt with Jesse. So like all of that stuff we've got, but I'm not just going to give it away to people, right? Because that costs money. It costs my money, it costs other people's money, and we're not just going to give it away, right? So part of what we're going to do here, and I'm going to just make this more clear from the beginning for everybody, is that, and I made a post about this, is that I want to see people that generate their first deal or at least one deal together with us. Maybe it's not your very first deal, but you generate the first deal with our ecosystem, with the Dealmakers Academy community via any number of cold outreach strategies, cold calling, cold texting, door knocking, the free Facebook strategy that we talk about, our Facebook Bandit strategy, where you just go post on Facebook and get leads to come in that way. It's not, or there's the free Zillow strategy where you can go search FSBOs, for sale by owner on Zillow. You can do similar on Facebook. I don't care where you generate the first lead, but it needs to, or the first deal, but it needs to be done via cold outreach, via effort, via action, right? Because then once you put in action, once you've taken steps, not only will you get paid, but the other piece is that you've now committed a little bit more, right? So what we're going to do is once we've generated that first opportunity together via the cold outreach, then we're going to basically move you into the full academy role where you'll get access to the lead flow that comes through, whether that be, it'll primarily be for students early on, will be via cold tech or cold calling, call center teams, and mass texting, both of which are a little bit cheaper lead flow. It's easier, cheaper to generate those. So when you're in the academy and you're learning, again, your focus early on, the first 30 days, it's not about closing deals. It's really longer than that. It's not about closing deals yet for you. It's about learning the basics and the foundations. Mindset being the biggest, maybe the most important one. But then when you talk about really real estate foundations, we're talking about comping, underwriting, learning how to analyze a property, and lead generation. So I'm going to reach out to somebody, or somebody's going to reach out to us. I'm going to talk to them, nurture them, be able to comp. That's the first month of the Dealmakers Academy. Month number 2 is going to be focused in on closing and negotiation. This is where Tim, Chaz, and others will really help break down how you're going to get on and close these deals in basically real time. Meaning when a lead does come in and you're able to get on, we want you to be able to fully know how to comp and underwrite a property while you're on the phone with this person, so you can know how to make an offer before you get off, right? So by the end of month 2, that will be the primary marker. We'll determine, do you get the green light to start closing? And that will be when you move into the full closing opportunity, in which you will even potentially be, or you will be able to make more money when you get to that versus just this initial entry. And then the 3rd month is going to be on dispositions, the exit side of things, capital raising, and the back side of this process. So front side is acquisitions, back side dispositions, right? So this is how this academy is going to break down. I'm very thankful for Anna and Chaz Mulder out there. If you guys are still listening, I know Chaz was in here a few minutes ago. They're really helping build some infrastructure here. Anna is going to lead the operational side and make it smoother for the onboarding process. I've been juggling a million things. And so a lot of times, some of this more intimate nurturing that needs to happen for the academy students has fallen a little bit short. And I'm totally cool to own that. That's part of being who I am, moving so fast. And I accept and understand that. But that's why we're going to put other people in place so that they can slow down and do the things that y'all need. Everybody that will be selected, including you, Curry, will receive another text message, another email, another onboarding process to get this started for the new round of folks that we have coming in. And then from here moving forward, it'll be much smoother. You'll be assigned to a team leader. The team leader will be your hand holder through the course of the whole 90 days. There's my man Chaz back on. Chaz is going to be one of our team leaders, so he'll be helping you guys as well. Tim is going to be kind of moving a little bit more upwards in how much he's training and teaching on the real estate side of things. I'll continue to be here every day at 12. The team leaders are going to do what we call deal maker sessions, where all the students, regardless of which team, can jump in, do deal reviews, call role plays, different things like that. So there'll be different topics on every section there. So that's where we're at currently, guys, with everything on the Dealmakers Academy side. So I'm pretty excited. I know a few of y'all are in here that are going to actually be a part of that. So that's exciting. Who else we got in here? Devin, I don't think I've got to speak with you. How you doing, Devin?
Doing all right, man. Yeah, no, this is the first time in. I started following you here, I think last week or so. My mom had mentioned we're part of Sub2, and we've been doing low equity direct to agent outreach in Texas. And our leads, I've had agents that have said, hey, yeah, I've got this, this client that would be interested in Sub2 creative, but I have no idea as far as contract structuring, closing, all that stuff. I've already been doing underwriting, comping.
Okay.
And so
You need
it's,
to get docs
we
out
just
there.
don't have, we just don't have the team behind us to be able to go from point A to point B.
Okay.
But
Well,
been using PropStream and built CRM, doing LOI as far as the LOI blaster and stuff.
cool. Let me jot some of this down. So low equity agent outreach. And so you've got some positive responses you're saying, but you just need to be able to have the proper contracting and documents to get to them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, as far as just people being able to double check my numbers and see, we don't have the buyers in place, so I have nowhere to take these leads.
And
And
it's
it's
in
just been done.
Texas. You said what market in Texas?
I've been hitting Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Killeen, Temple, Houston.
Okay. Well, so it sounds like what we need to do probably is sign an NDA together first off so that we can talk intimately about the details. Because side note, guys, you can't trust everybody. Let me throw this one out there. Don't trust everybody. Sign an NDA, sign a JV, like get your shit safe because I didn't do that and I get screwed. So do that. I have one. We'll sign something together so that you're safe, so that we're both safe. Then we'll break down what you got and see what we can put together. I will tell you in Dallas, I do have some pretty good connections. My man Matt Winfrey, another community leader that we have, has done like 6 or 8 flips or something like that in the Dallas market over the past couple months, 4 or 5 months. So he's crushing it there. Has a realtor and GC connection that really helps us a lot too. Are any of those going to need to be fixed and flipped, or are they all just going to be market ready to come in? Do you know?
The couple that I've had were like market, as far as market ready, they were all like new builds. I had one down in just outside of Temple Queen, but it's gone pending. I mean, it's been probably a good week or so since the last time that I've talked to these agents, but it's just been, I'm out here in East Tennessee, and so we've been dealing with the hurricane and all that stuff. So it's,
That you have, brother. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Did you guys stay safe there during the hurricane?
yeah, no, it hit about maybe 90 minutes as far as all the flooding and stuff up in Upper East Tennessee, about 90 minutes from me.
Crazy.
So yeah, it's luckily where I'm at, we're good, but yeah, I'm more trying to figure out how to turn around, and I've been doing the lead generation and talked to a few of these agents, and they've positively responded on stuff, but it's now been a couple weeks, and some of the stuff that they've reached back out to me has already gone to pending. So I know a couple of them already had offers from other creative investors. So
Yeah. Timing is everything on these leads for sure.
yeah,
Speed is gonna be
definitely.
everything. So we might not be able to recover ones if they've already gone to
You don't want to
pending.
buy anything in Killeen either which way.
Yeah. Say again?
You don't want to buy anything in Killeen either which way. That's gross.
Was it in Killeen, Texas? I didn't even hear that.
It was just outside of Killeen.
Oh,
Killeen Temple. I mean, I know that's a big, I know between co-living and all that, because Killeen Temple is real big with the VA hospitals and the different hospitals and stuff. So you have different possibilities for the co-living MTR.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, you got Fort Hood right there, so you got a bunch of military dudes that'll go out and
Yeah.
get a house together and stuff.
Cool. So, well, Devin, let's connect first off and see if we can help you, however we can help you push what you have currently. But it sounds like you also might be a good fit for the Deal Makers Academy because we can not only help structure, but just give you some of the resources and closing abilities to be able to help make sure that you're confident in what you're doing there. And I think it doesn't sound like it'll be long for you to do that, like to learn that. One of the important things and the reason why we want people to take action, because if you can go do the lead generation process, it's like the most manual effort, really part of the process, in my opinion. If you can do the hard stuff of cold outreach, especially early on when people are like not putting a bunch of money into marketing. If you can do that, everything else we can teach you. The hardest part about it is the work ethic that it takes to stick through it. And so that's definitely going to be one of the primary topics of a lot of Tim Winfrey, my partner Tim. It's going to be a primary topic for a lot of his trainings is the mindset of sticking through that hard stuff and get enough repetitions. So yeah, I think it would be great to get you on with me, you and my partner Tim, who I just mentioned. He actually just did a couple creative deals over the past few weeks. He's done a lot. He's been around for about 10 years in the real estate game. So shoot me a direct message and then let's set up a time to chat a little bit more.
All right, will do, man.
Cool. Curry, how are you doing? Put you on the spot, see if you're able to talk. Gave you a mic, so we'll see.
Womp womp.
Well, yeah, that's literally it. Well, we're getting
Hey,
close.
I got a question. I got a question for you, Garrett.
Hit me up.
So on the lead calls that are coming in, right? That was what dude, my thing got all screwed up because I tried to answer one of the lead calls.
Right.
And I'm on my phone right now on this. So it came in, I hit one, rang through, nobody answered, right? No big deal. So I got one text message that said the lead was generated to, I think, Terrell.
Latrell.
Okay. I got one text message that said that. And then I got a text message back that said the lady's name and replied with why.
Right.
So do I text that back? There is that her number when she texts back why?
No, that's the CRM. So give you an idea of the cycle. So Facebook ad, right? They land, they fill out a 12-question survey, they hit submit. Then we immediately send them a text message, say, hey, John, just wanted to connect, just got your information, want to make sure this is the correct number for you. Please respond why, if so. So when they respond why, which by the way, like 8 out of 10 of the like 8 out of 10 leads, or 80% of the leads that are coming through right now have responded why and taken that second step of action, which means they went through the whole funnel. And then they say, yes, it's my right number, which means they have some motivation. They want to talk to somebody. So if
Okay.
that CRM number that's texting you, it's not them. So I think
Okay.
you have access to the CRM now, so you should be able to just go find it. I'm not sure why it sent you a message and said that it was assigned to Latrell, because it should have only sent to you if it was assigned to you, but I'll fix that and make sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. And those were two separate things, mind you.
Yeah.
So the names on those were two. The house that was assigned to Latrell was this that I got the text message on. And then the Y text message was a lady somewhere else.
Got it.
So I do want to make that clear. They were two separate.
Cool.
The Latrell and then the Y were separate.
Let's see. What's up with this? So I make sure it's done. Cool. I'll make sure that it's smooth with all of them moving forward, but I'm glad that you're getting the text messages now. Everything is smooth for you there.
Yeah, everything's coming in.
There we go. All right. Well, cool. I'm excited. We're gonna start getting these deals closing, and then we're gonna get these students fully active on getting the academy moving. I'm excited for what we're doing. Me, you, and Anna, Tim. We got a lot of awesome people around. We got a lot of people that are excited for this opportunity, and that's all that I can really ask for as a leader. So, guys, if we don't really have any more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and end this just a few minutes early. I do have a calendar full of calls to get into, so we got lots of things to keep pushing. If you guys need me, you know where to find me. Feel free to reach out to me via Facebook Messenger, tag me in the group on Facebook. For those of you that applied or are interested, I will be selecting and announcing the next round of students that comes out pretty soon today. So keep your eye on your cell phones. You should get some texts and emails from us if you are selected. And if not, don't sweat, because it's not the end of the selections. We're going to continue to select more people as we bring in more Spark sponsors. A lot of great opportunities. One other thing I'll share here as we end, we are, and I'm going to fully announce this outwardly on Facebook either today or tomorrow, but we are actually partnering with Top Tier TC. Shout out to Kelly if you're out there listening. Kelly is my connection there at Top Tier. I got to speak with Molly Tennant, one of Pace's partners that runs Top Tier. She's the boss over there. She's a beast, incredibly powerful. Her whole team is. I got to speak with a lot of them, and they are going to allow us to keep our butts safe on the TC side, make sure all of our contracts and documents are done the right way. They are also going to teach why we should work with a TC and why it's valuable to us as wholesalers, as investors, because a lot of people just don't know, right? A lot of people out there just don't understand, oh, I can do that. I can send my own documents, whatever. There's so much more that's entailed in the TC process. And I'm very excited for them to teach all of that to you guys as well. So look,
Yeah,
no matter what anybody wants to tell you, the people that matter in this space, the people that are making big moves in this space are super excited for what we got going on. You know, I've been able to get some positive affirmation from Pace over the past couple days, some really incredible things that I know are coming for this community. Obviously, sub two is always busting, always growing, you know, so lots of really cool things happening on all fronts. I'm very grateful for where we're at currently and being a good intersection for the top and the bottom sides of this industry and how we can help people reach where they're trying to reach, guys. So I appreciate each of you that showed up, those of you on Facebook that are out there watching as well. Even got this integrated with YouTube finally. So some people, maybe new folks coming into the ecosystem that direction as well. So guys, let's have a great Monday. Let's go get some deals done. I know Chaz got a pipeline full of leads. I know Chelsea got a pipeline full of leads. Y'all going to see us start to celebrate these wins much more frequently every day moving forward, guys. So keep your eye on your phones. As always, have a great Monday. Let's get these deals done, guys. Peace.
Thank you, brother.